I was writing on about an online event I'm going to start soon. And suddenly the words came to me: feel your longing, find your calling. So, feeling our deep, deep longing in the heart, in the core of us, that is actually our spiritual calling. It's calling us. And the way spirit calls us is through this sensation of longing. And it is a very sweet longing when we learn to turn into it and get curious about it instead of dismissing it and trying to do something else and trying to soothe that hunger of the longing with something outside of ourselves. And I have talked about, when you don't stand for something, you fall for everything or for anything. And that is really what we're talking about here, to really give ourselves permission to feel that deep longing. Now, I don't think for most of us that we drop deeply into it on the first try, but you may. But we have all these other layers on top of it based on how we have been living in lack in our lives. And there might be a very valid reason to tend to those more superficial longings. And I don't mean superficial in a negative way, because we always need to honor where we are, what our experience is, and not try and bypass any of it, because it's gonna hit us in the butt, or bite us in the butt. It's gonna come back. It needs to be brought all the way home. And we can only do that by allowing it, by letting it be experienced. And sometimes there are some actions that we need to take for it to feel soothed or fulfilled. So, for instance, if you have lived in lack, financial lack, let's say, for a long time, always struggling to make ends meet, then it's very, very normal and understandable that there is a deep longing to have enough. And that is not wrong. That is how it is. So there is a place where I just want to have enough. I just want to not struggle anymore. And you cannot bypass those by going to, let's say, a deep spiritual awakening longing. Although if it's deep enough, then these other ones don't really matter. But that's different for each one of us. So we need to honor as they show up. Now, I know from myself that there are many, many, many layers inside that have not been met in all of us. I still keep meeting them and like, oh, that's right. Yeah. So by honoring each layer as it shows up, let's say you have been struggling with abundance or with having enough money to pay your bills. So there is a deep longing, right? I just want to be able to relax and not worry about it anymore. Now, that want or that longing, I would say embrace that. Let yourself really feel how wonderful it would be to have enough. So you can let yourself just go with this, like, I just want to have enough so I don't have to worry. I just want to, have the money come in. I want to see my bills paid every month without any panic or fear or struggle. Now, if you allow yourself embrace that want or that need, it's very sweet, but it has to be pure. If it comes with like, or I just want to have enough, it's not coming from a longing. It's coming from the emotions around it that are struggling. And I guarantee you that those emotions just want peace. They just want to be able to relax and have enough. And why not? I think that's fair. Does anybody here want to struggle? Haven't we struggled enough? So let's just really allow these parts that just long for some kind of a change in your life. It could be a partnership that's not working, that's always a struggle and a fight and arguing. And so it's natural to have, like, gosh, I just want to have a peaceful, loving relationship. And when you feel that at a deep core level, it's like, God, I just want to have a loving relationship. Feel the sweetness of that. Feel the sweetness of that before the emotions come in to fight it or argue with it, or being angry that it's not here. Because when those show up, then we're actually leaving the sweetness of the longing. And if you or I walk around with this sweet, like, longing, like, gosh, I just want to be loved, I just want to feel loved, I just want to have enough so I can relax. Just feel, isn't that sweet? Isn't that being very loving to yourself? Right? It's like, yeah, I just really want that. I wish that for myself. I wish that upon me. May I be at peace. May I have enough. If you're doing this with me right now, you, of course, will have your own flavor of what you want, what you long for. So bring that in for a moment and just feel like, gosh, yeah, I really want that. I want that for myself. How sweet is that? Can you feel it? Can you let yourself, I was going to say indulge. I don't want to, indulge could be have a negative connotation, but can you let yourself really take a hot bubble bath in that? It's like, oh, yeah, I want that. Now, what do you think happens when you do that energetically? Do you think you might attract it easier than if you're just struggling and fighting and angry about it and never really honoring what is underneath that survival and trying to get by? To me, it feels really sweet and it makes me very happy because I'm being very loving to myself at a very deep core level, at a level that is not really being loved. So all these longings and wants that we have, what would it be like to just embrace them and really let yourself feel your deepest longing at the level where you are at? I would say that then you meet yourself right there in your divinity. And that is where everything comes from. So it feels to me like when I do that myself, and I do when I find these deeper layers. And recently there was a deep layer that I've been moving through. I'm still kind of moving through it. I shared it in one of the previous videos that I literally I felt that I had been closing myself off from love based on yada, yada, yada. And when I got to feel this, like past the fear, the terror, the resistance, I just dropped into this, oh, I want to be loved again. I want to be love again and not hold it back anymore. So sweet, so sweet. And in that sweetness, I feel that that energy goes out into the universe, whether it's out or in or both. It feels like there's an energetic resonance that goes out where I open myself up for that experience. Where before, if we're like this, angry about it, struggling, not listening to ourselves, just in survival mode, we are not opening up for that to come in. So by saying and feeling, in a loving way to yourself, yes, I really want that. And when I say it now, I feel my whole body just opens up to a sweetness, to a joy, a warmth. It's almost like the places that have been contracting, they can relax. And in that relaxation, I experience the reality, the nature of who I really am, which is love. So it's always very helpful to bring in love to all the parts of us. And that certainly includes the parts that want something, they want an experience in this world. And as we keep allowing that, we open up for actually beautiful experiences to come into our life instead of keeping it out, which I had done. I saw at a deep level how I had done that. And then when I saw that, it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. Well, Pernilla, what do you want? I want this. And then I stay with that, and I can tell myself that many times during the day. And every time I do, I feel so happy. And in that energetic happiness, I know things are changing. I can feel it. And then things start changing in your life because when we're changing, our life changes. So when I say, feel your longing, find your calling, that might be a little bit down the line. And I was going to talk about that, but of course I get sidetracked, which always happens. So maybe next time I'll go a little deeper into that when it actually you realize that your deepest longing is your spiritual calling. They're one and the same. And you can't get to that depth if there's many layers on top of it that are being ignored, that really still need your attention so that they too can open up and be joyful and be open to receiving and experiencing that. Does that make sense? So I will leave that for today. And then who knows, maybe next time I will actually talk about what I was planning to talk about today. But see if you can find just a little thing, instead of fighting it, see if you can just find that place that says, yeah, I really want that. It would make me so happy. Just feel the love in that and feel how that love melts the barriers to receiving it. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day and take a little time to honor what feels really good that you want.